Was there any place down here that was locked? Lock has been broken. Okay. So I'm not looking to try to get in there. Nothing else down here? Lock is broken. Okay. I don't think I need anything down there. I'm just gonna go back upstairs. Does this key go... It's a locket. Oh, is that for this? This key doesn't seem to fit. You know, maybe I should read this. Welcome home, Howard. Within these pages, you will find some secrets about your family that have been hidden from you for a long time. First, let me introduce myself, though I am sure you remember me very well. My name is Nathaniel, your grandfather. I'm the one who is responsible for your existence. The one who summoned you beyond time by appealing to Almighty Yog Sothoth, because only he has the key to all, past, present, and future. Now I feel that my time is short. Soon I will be in my final resting place, waiting for you. I summoned you because he, Jediah, the Wise, wanted me to do so. He speaks to me in my dreams. I can even hear him in my waking life and amongst all places. You can hear his voice in the tomb most clearly. He's very dangerous, Howard. Be afraid of him, afraid of his wrath. But don't worry, he won't harm you as long as you don't oppose him. You cannot destroy or even hinder him. He will exist forever. He wanted your existence because when the time comes, he will need a body, one from his own blood, and that is you, Howard. He will possess your body, and you will disappear sooner or later. But don't worry, you won't feel any pain. You're still in control of your faculties. You should prepare the necessary things before it starts. There's an object which acts as a key. You will need it to reach the final destination, the edge of the blackest abyss. It consists of 3 parts. I gave one of them to someone, a trustworthy friend of mine. He will come and meet you in this house to give you the part he possesses. The other 2 will be safe with me. You have all the key parts? Search for the sacrificial dagger. It's been in the possession of our family for a long time. The Loraids have protected it and kept it hidden. This is really something to be proud of. I'm sure you won't have any problem finding it. Only after acquiring all of these should you go to the connection. You will remember the entrance. After all, I've shown it to you many times. Use the carrier to reach your destination. Down there, you will see a lot of unbelievable things, normally hidden from our eyes. Some of them might really scare you. I still can't forget the human guards with non-human heads atop their shoulders. I haven't seen them alive, but I presume you will, so be prepared. You don't have to worry about what will happen after that point. I'm sure you will be possessed completely when you reach this place because the magic of the ancients is very strong down there. You should be proud of this, Howard. Your body will be used by Jediah the Wise for the supreme goal that your lineage has strived to realize for ages. I do not feel happy about this now. I've never seen this cover before. When I was last here, there was a simple metallic cover on the lid. Why would somebody want to change the cover of a disused well? I need to try something else. Don't think I can use this here. Okay, so the well wasn't where I needed to go. Alright, so preface, there are times when even the howlings of the fearful sirens are not enough to affect one. There are times when even the withered moon that is hidden behind a cloud can affect and shatter a life which is in the darkness of a cave. Illusions of myths that are long forgotten affect and dominate the imagination unexpectedly. Thus, some people imagine primordial forests in which thousands of unknown life forms are living. Dark cities where life ended eons ago, and deserts where the highest towers of those dark cities now are no more than simple pieces of rock, revealing only very tiny portions like the tip of an iceberg. They wander in vast crypts which are full of the permanent smell of death, and in places where one can remember that beauty and splendor had once existed, proving that no beauty and splendor can exist forever. Some folks observe fascinating and dreadful details which others miss, and even if these details are sufficient to make them crazy, who can understand their meanings? These details are carved into the minds of the ones who deliberately miss them, and in time they change into myths which in turn induce consternation. Sometimes the past that should be dead shows itself cruelly in instant hallucinations and enchanted dreams. Such situations a person can only have peace when he forgets everything. The fundamental thing is that really time is the only friend of forgetfulness. Friendships are not eternal. Peace is a luxury which can be obtained through eternal sleep for those who do not have any pence. Edward Pickman. Alright, so where was I? Oh yes, trying to figure out where I can use all this stuff on. This was empty, right? Yeah. Secret cover here. Oh, an envelope I found in the jewelry box. That's all that's in there. Uh, July 11th, 1983. Since I don't have anyone around I can confide in, I've decided to write down some of the things that have begun to gravely concern me about my husband, Nathaniel. We have some honest and nice maids. Sneak attack kiss. We have some honest and nice maids, but of course I cannot talk with them about everything. First 2 years of our marriage were great. We lived in a small apartment in downtown Wellsmith, but soon I fell ill. It's nothing serious, but Nathaniel strongly insisted that we follow the advice of the doctors and move to this house. The house had been empty for a long time, about 18 years, I think. It was built by Nathaniel's ancestors, and his family line has always lived here, but he had never been here before and didn't know much about the place. we learned most of what did know from some friendly locals of Archimond, the closest town to this isolated place. Not everyone treated us in a friendly manner there. I always felt a strong hostility towards us, especially from older people. They looked at me. I felt goosebumps all over my body. Soon I learned the reason for this bizarre animosity. Back then we didn't have any servants. When Nathaniel went to his study, I was all alone, and what I enjoyed most was going down to Archimond in our car. I loved that old town. It's a strange, mesmerizing aura of long-lost ages. It always made me feel like I was in an old medieval village. But the townspeople, not too long after we arrived, I noticed that their attitudes are as old as the town itself. Most of them were highly pessimistic and superstitious. Some shop owners and the innkeeper told me the truth behind their hatred. They hated Nathaniel's family and even hated outsiders like me, who weren't part of the same bloodline. They told me the Loath lineage had always been despised in Archimond, and this contempt was handed down to each new generation. I heard some tales told about that family. Childish, unbelievable, but genuinely frightening tales. When I told Nathaniel about these, he just laughed them off. He said that every uncivilized town has this kind of folklore. He was right, and this should have quelled my concerns. But I still felt that something was deeply wrong, and after a short time my fears were confirmed. Nathaniel started to change. He started to speak in his dreams with someone named Jediah Loreed, and gradually spent more time in the family tomb. I still don't have even the slightest idea what he was doing in there. I always loathed that building. Just once I went inside, but it creeped me out with all those coffins of dead people, strange carvings, and macabre pictures on the wet, mossy walls. I would have loved it there. First, I rationalized Nathaniel's new behavior as simply a belated interest in his heritage, because I'd never heard him say anything about his family until then. But then he started to speak about how some Loreeds lived in this house under the veil of a strange secrecy, how various generations had built and restored the house, even explaining when and why they built that tomb in the garden. Maybe it sounds strange, but I continued to believe that the changes in him were nothing more than a temporary result of his newfound interest in his family history. I had no choice but to hope that when his interest faded, he would return to his normal self, but soon the opposite proved true. As time passed, Nathaniel became more obsessed with his lineage and its dark secrets. I often saw him in his study looking out the window, but lost, deep in thought. After a few months, he developed some strange habits, like sleepwalking and speaking to himself. He also started to correspond with strangers. I've never seen the content of the letters, but judging from his reactions when he saw me getting a reply from the mailbox, it's clear there was something very special about them. I tried to convince him to see a psychiatrist, but he strongly opposed. He said there was nothing wrong with him, that he was just a man investigating his own past. As a Lurid, he said, he was late taking over his family property, but from now on he would live like a real Lurid. Around that time, our son Williams was born. Despite my concerns, it was the happiest time of my life. Around that time, our son Williams was born. Despite my concerns, it was the happiest time of my life. Nathaniel even seemed to be going back to normal. I remember he smiled at me for the first time since his sudden change. But after that short period of joy, everything turned upside down again. Among the disturbing things Nathaniel began doing in this house, and still does, I hate the strange meetings with his fellow correspondents most. Those who attend are disgusting beyond words. Their looks, their smells, their use of language, they are completely repulsive. These meetings, which no one other than Nathaniel is allowed to attend, started to be arranged when Williams was 5. And secretly, they sometimes talked for hours. After Williams' 5th birthday, Nathaniel changed even more drastically. Sometimes he'd mention distant and unusual places and how he wanted to visit them. It became too upsetting for me to even listen to such childish ravings anymore. I know even if I told him to stop, he wouldn't listen to me, for he's not the same person I married anymore. I cursed the meetings for this drastic change in Nathaniel's mood and behavior. The visitors poisoned them with their stupid thoughts and beliefs. September 22nd, 1983. I don't know what to do anymore. 5 days ago, something awful happened. In the dead of night, a stranger with a little boy showed up here. Strangely, he seemed to know that Nathaniel. They spoke for about 3 hours, and then the man left without the child. Then I learned that the boy was brought here to live with us. An unlawful adoption. I don't remember anything after that, as I collapsed suddenly and needed to be hospitalized. I stayed there under surveillance for 4 days. When I came back, neither the child nor the maids were here anymore. Only Shet remained, our eldest servant. When I asked him about the maids, he said they quit, and he didn't know anything about the boy. I could easily tell he was lying and that he was obligated to do so. I don't know what happened here, but it seems that something went terribly wrong. Nathaniel doesn't speak with me anymore. He is always silent and seems confused, but I know that boy is around here somewhere. I can hear him, his screams at night. August 14th, 1987. I haven't written anything in this diary for years. In fact, if it didn't abruptly catch my eye, I wouldn't have even remembered it was here. I'm not good with remembering anything anymore. Last year I needed to be hospitalized again, but this one was very serious, I think. I stayed in the hospital for 3 months. Anyway, finding this diary was a fortunate coincidence since yesterday Williams visited us. I'm sorry to hear that, sweetie. I hope you feel better soon. This is the first time he has come home. Like, how long is this? 87, 83. '83. And kid grew up fast, or she was talking about things that she remembered. Okay. This is the first time he has come home after graduating from the college. Can't even remember how many years it has been since he went away. How shameful for a mother. But he was not alone. He brought his wife and child, Howard, with him. What a lovely boy he is. It was heartwarming for me to see my grandson. Williams hadn't told us he even got married. This is not unexpected. I was forced to send him to a school in Wellsmouth at a very young age. I didn't want him to leave, but I couldn't let Nathaniel and his friends affect him. I was very happy yesterday, but now I've noticed something I didn't then, and it shakes me. Maybe this is stupid. Maybe I'm making this up, but I was annoyed by the way Nathaniel looked at Howard. As strange as he acted at times, I've never seen him like that before. That glint in his eyes. He didn't take his eyes off Howard for the longest time. At the time, I dismissed it as simple love for his grandchild. This is only logical, of course, but now I suspect it wasn't that at all. That countenance he wore as he gazed on the child. I could tell it was not affectionate pride in Howard, but something solely wicked in nature. That triumphant look actually was diabolical beyond imagination. August 28th, 1988. I can't take this. Nathaniel is no longer even human. He and his disgusting friends are planning something terrible for Howard. I have got to get away from this cursed house, which I should never have come to in the first place. From the first time I saw it, I felt this house was no good. Like something ungodly from the past still lives here. I'm going to escape and go to my son's apartment. I must warn him never to come here anymore, neither he nor his family. They're speaking about Howard all the time. Some nonsense about summoning him beyond time. There is nothing but madness here. I will also take that shiny metallic thing that Nathaniel always wears around his neck. I don't know what it is, but I do know it's important to them, and I will take it with me so he can't find it. I won't let them do any harm to my son and his family. Okay. And I am Howard. Great. Okay. Rechecked out that, this, and this. I don't think I was supposed to be able to do this. Whoops. Excuse? Lock is broken. I cannot open it. I can't go down there? What? Why can I not go down there? There we go. Weren't there wood panels here before? Guess we're going down. Oh. Well then. Um. uh. Hi? Hello? Bye. Um. Excuse? Who dat? Wait, why am I... Was this a nightmare? I really heard those creatures. They were racing through the walls to the lower parts of the house. I'm sure they were calling me down there to show me something. Showing me the way to some other dark secret of this place. Anyway, I think I heard a sound coming from the house. Better go and investigate. Hello?
Hi, Howard. I know this is shocking, but I am Loath Nolder. It seems impossible to believe, but it's the truth. As you can see, my new body is not in good shape. I'm taking something to slow its deterioration. worms will have me soon.
Mm-hmm.
So listen carefully. Time is very short. We must stop them.
Uh-huh.
Stop whom?
Don't you remember? I think the drug I gave you was a bit much.
What drug? What are you talking about?
The drug I gave you when I took you out of the asylum. If I hadn't given it to you, you would have been gone for good by now.
Fun.
It was prepared by a very powerful shaman. But I think it prevents you from remembering what happened and who you really are.
Oh?
This is all nonsense. I don't understand what you're talking about. You told me to come here, and I am here. In the very house of my ancestors.
Yes.
What's the meaning of this? Do you know that my father is lying in that tomb? Can you tell me why he killed himself in there? Why my mother never told me anything about my father? Why I remember things I've never known before? What is happening to me?
You must be calm. I am in a worse condition.
Uh...
I know this seems like nonsense, but it is happening. This world hides secrets that people must never learn. And
Yes.
you are part of those secrets. Please
Oh.
calm down and try to understand what I'm about to say to you. I've given you a special drug. You haven't lost your control, have you? So don't be afraid. The drug won't let him possess you too soon, but it won't.
Great.
We must be quick to find the entrance to the sunken city. It is right under this town and its outlying areas.
Great.
Sunken city?
The necropolis city of a pre-human reptilian race.
What is your connection to this situation?
Reptilian race, huh?
As you know, I went on a long journey 5 years ago.
Yes.
During my travels, I sought clues that would give me some insight into my own family history. I visited a lot of places, but I finally found my answers in a primitive forest village.
Okay.
Strangely, the village elders seemed to know me and told me some unbelievable things about my identity.
Great.
I was born in that very village.
Okay.
The son of a European father and a mother they never revealed. Nobody spoke about her, though I persistently asked them.
Weird.
All I learned is that she disappeared from the village after giving birth to me, and it seemed from their tone that they were grateful when she left.
Oh boy.
I could learn nothing else about my father either, except that he was a civilized man.
Great.
Apparently, I spent some of my childhood there, under the veil of strange practices and inhuman traditions. I think
Fun.
I remember them showing and teaching me some horrifying things that fortunately I can't quite remember anymore.
Yeah, that is fortunate.
One thing's still clear in my mind. They were constantly telling me that my body was just a vessel, and that someday I would return to them and be filled with true essence. And
Wow.
a god, worshipped by the natives, will be summoned. So, in a sense, I am just like you.
Okay.
Something that should not be.
Great.
What has happened to your body?
It is a long and bizarre story. My body was stolen from me. After I'd stayed at that disgusting village for a while, the elders sent me with a native guide to a nameless ruin in the middle
Oh boy.
of the jungle, so dense it seemed like no human soul had ever set foot in it before us. When we arrived, planned this all along. He was not with me, only to guide me there.
Figures.
When I opened my eyes, I was in an enclosure with lavishly carved stone walls. I was tied tight and saw some masked figures sitting around me chanting something.
Ah,
They were not
gotta love
human.
masked figures.
Try to imagine this. I was alone with things that were not human. Their constant hissings still reverberate in my ears. They gave me something that made my mind go cloudy. Then, I believe I fainted.
Oh,
I don't know how much time passed, but when I regained consciousness, I was in total darkness.
okay.
With the smell of damp earth filling my nose.
Great.
I thought they had buried me alive. But soon, I understood how stupid it was to expect this kind of mercy from them. I managed to get above ground with my bare hands and tried to flee that damned jungle at once.
Yeah, it would be tough.
When I slipped and fell into a small puddle of muddy water, for a moment
Eh,
I plunged into the scorching pit of madness. The reflection in the water showed that I now inhabited the body that once belonged to my guide.
oh boy.
Why did you take me out of the asylum?
What's up, Sweet Pea?
I had to. As I said before, if I didn't, you would have been totally overcome by now.
Gotcha.
They were planning to eliminate you and take your body for good. But
Oh.
fortunately, I came just at the right time. We now have a chance. I can't make it by myself.
Okay.
They defeated everyone else except you.
Alright, give me a moment, sweetie.
I am tired and have to get my drug. Let's continue this conversation tomorrow.
Okay. Achievement unlocked. Long-awaited reunion.